We've got breaking news into Texas Tech men's basketball as Grant McCasland and the Red Raiders have landed their first portal target of the 2024 cycle in Drake transfer guard Kevin Overton. In today's video, we'll break down his skill set, his fit with the Red Raiders, and why I am so high on this Drake transfer. Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's RC Maxfield here for the Back to 12 podcast, and I just want you to do one favor for me. Like the video if you were excited about Kevin Overton committing to the Scarlet and Black and playing in year number 2 of the Grant McCasland era out in the 806. Again, just do me one favor. Like the video. All right, let's get right into this one because, well, if you know anything about me in this portal cycle for the Red Raiders so far, Kevin Overton has been the guy that has excited me the most in terms of what he could potentially bring to the 806. We'll go a little bit more in depth about my feelings about him and his potential here in just a minute. Let's break down some of the numbers he had as a true freshman at Drake in the Missouri Valley Conference. He averaged 11.3 points per game, 3.3 rebounds, just over 1 assist per game, and nearly shot 35% from 3. He has 3 years of eligibility remaining, and I've talked about him a little bit in previous videos, but he has a connection to the Texas Tech coaching staff in Luke Barnwell, who was his high school head coach at Sunrise Christian up in Kansas. Now, Overton, in terms of his skill set, is a long, versatile guard who can guard 1 through 3 with his 6'5" frame, but you really like the potential that he has to potentially be a lockdown defender when it comes to tournament time. He's 6'5", got a wingspan of about 6'6", maybe 6'7", depending on where you look, but he's agile enough and quick enough to stay in front of those smaller guards and just wreak havoc due to his size. Now, offensively, this is where he kind of has stood out so far in his collegiate career, albeit just 1 year. He had some pretty damn good numbers as a true freshman, regardless of your feelings about the Missouri Valley Conference. Again, 11 points per game, but he ranked 78th percentile nationally when it came to spot-up jumpers. Is he going to create his own shot most of the time? No, probably not, at least at this point in his career. But you can see the traits that he has, and he could potentially add that to his quote-unquote bag later on when he's wearing the scarlet and black. But as of right now, he is a guy that just you don't have to run a play for. He can run off ball. He's smart enough in terms of his basketball IQ to find space, have his hands in the proper position to succeed when it comes to being ready on the catch and shoot. He is a guy, when you see him from a spot-up shooter perspective, he's lights out. Again, he's 19 years old and he put up those numbers in one of the toughest mid-major conferences in America. Again, I know what people are going to say. Missouri Valley Conference, RC, that's a huge step up. I agree. But go look at the traits. Go look at the film. Go look at the analytics, okay? Drake is not a bad team. They almost beat Washington State in the first round of the NCAA tournament, and they beat America's favorite team in the Sycamores of Indiana State in the Missouri Valley Conference tournament to go to the NCAA tournament. The Bulldogs were legit, and Kevin Overton started all 35 of their games last year as a true freshman. He is a guy that can come in right away and be an impact player, and a guy personally I think should be in the starting 5, no questions asked. He's that kind of player, and he's got 3 years of eligibility remaining. All right, before we get into anything else, as you can tell, I can go on a tangent here. If you're over on the Scarlet and Black Insider, which I know a lot of you guys are, by the way, head on over to scarletandblackinsider.com to get the latest Texas Tech men's basketball news that quick. I mean, drop of a hat. Austin Massey, myself, and Jacob Harris. Well, those two are doing a really great job. I'm trying over there when it comes down to it. But go join the fastest growing Texas Tech community on the internet over in the Scarlet and Black Insider. And again, if you haven't already, like the video if you're excited about Kevin Overton committing to the Scarlet and Black and going to be, well, playing in year number 2 of the Grant McCasland era out in the 806. All right. A lot of y'all have asked me, how do some of these guys fit potentially, right, with these portal targets? How do they fit into the current scheme that Texas Tech wants to run? And really, what is their skill set in general? We talked about the skill set, but let's talk about right now what the current roster looks like. We obviously know D5 is there, Chance McMillan. You've got Kerwin Walton, Devin Cambridge, Emeli Alahu. You've got 2 walk-ons in Jack Francis and Jazz Henderson Jr., and now you add in Kevin Overton. I really think when you look at it, right now, you have potentially 4 starters, potentially, but I feel really good about saying 3. Obviously, starting D5. I think Kevin Overton's a starter. I think you can start Chance McMillan. It's just kind of what role do you want to go with him in terms of, do you want to keep him in that 6th man, first guy off the bench type role, or do you want to start him as your starting shooting guard and go get another primary ball handler? Either way is fine with me, but I feel like you have 3 starters, worst case scenario, right now for Texas Tech. Now, you got to go address the primary ball handler. You got to go get a point guard, and you got to go get a center. That's really what it comes down to. But I really like the trio of D5, Chance McMillan, and Kevin Overton. I love that trio. You can start D5 at the 4. Kevin Overton can be at the 3. You can have Chance at the 2, and then you just surround them from there. And you could even start Kerwin Walton, even Devin Cambridge when he's healthy as well. You've got length now, and it's not just one guy. Now you've got Devin coming back, provides length, and is a defensive anchor when he's healthy. Kevin Overton, a much better defender than a lot of the analytics show. Just go watch the tape. Kerwin Walton provides length, albeit maybe not the best defender, but he did have his moments. And then we know what D5 can do in terms of his versatility, specifically down on the low block where, yeah, he is 6'5", but he can guard some of those bigs due to his physique. I like where Texas Tech is at right now in terms of the fundamental base that you have to go in to year number 2 of Grant McCasland. Are they anywhere close to being done? No. I mean, look at it. I mean, let's count how many actual scholarship players they have. D5, 1. Chance McMillan, 2. Kevin Overton with that commitment is 3. Then you got Kerwin Walton, 4. Devin Cambridge, 5. Ameli Allahu, 6. You have 6 scholarship players. You now have 7 more scholarships to go out and use the best way you see fit. And I promise you, with some of the names that they've actually gone out and targeted, you're going to see a lot more length on this team. I'm not questioning that. It starts with Kevin Overton. Again, Kevin Overton, in my opinion, is a perfect complement alongside D5 and Chance, those 2 fundamental building blocks for the 2024-2025 roster for Texas Tech. Obviously, D5 leading the way. He can play off the ball. You really don't have to run a play for him if you don't want to, but he's just so good at being ready to shoot immediately when the ball touches his hands. And he's one of those guys, just kind of like D5 was before he came to Texas Tech at Nevada, that when he's in the corners, his 3-point percentage skyrockets. I mean, it's north of 42% from both corners for Kevin Overton. So he provides really good length. He's a solid defender. And if you need to, he can be a primary ball handler in certain sets, albeit I think it's more so in the pick and roll. But this is an addition, in my opinion, that is just absolutely phenomenal for the Red Raiders and a great way to start the 2024 cycle in terms of the portal for the Red Raiders. You go out and get a guy that as a true freshman played in one of the most competitive leagues in America and started all of their games for the Drake Bulldogs, an NCAA tournament team, and had really good percentages and really good ratios in terms of turnovers, assists, and everything like that as well. He's a guy that's going to come in and play a big impact for the Red Raiders right away. And if you were excited about Kevin Overton committing to the Scarlet and Black, I just want you to do one thing for me, one thing only right now. Like the video. And you know what? You're down there. You might as well hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell as well to stay in the know on Texas Tech men's basketball all year long. There's no other YouTube channel right now in the Texas Tech space, and maybe there never will be. Who knows? But right now, this is the only YouTube channel in the Texas Tech space that gives you instant breaking news videos whenever news drops for Texas Tech men's basketball. So like the video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell to join the largest group of Texas Tech fans here on YouTube in the Back to 12 podcast channel.